Sorry, I'm just doing a monkey impression right there, because I was expecting if there might be some bananas in this particular kingdom, but it wasn't, so, oh well though. Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen? Because I'm going to be using my Diddy Kong costume for today. So anyways though, hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen? I'm Mario here once again, and I'm back for some more video game for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we actually did manage to able to... I would say we've actually completely done with two kingdoms actually, which they are both entirely short, which they are the Cloud Kingdom, and especially notable with the Ruined Kingdom. So, yeah, today for this episode is the fact that we're about to be moving on to the next kingdom to be able to actually grab the last of the few regional coins, especially with the Power Moons themselves, which the fact of the matter is though, is the fact that we're about to be exploring through the Lost Kingdom, so that way we can able to completely done with the entire kingdom. But first off, before we start this off, there's Princess Peach just right there, along with Tiara herself. So the plant life here is so different from anything I've seen before. What a trip we've been on. I've seen so many wondrous creatures. Well, stuff like, you know, piranhas and stuff. I've picked up a Power Moon as a souvenir for you. So there goes another Princess Peach Power Moon right there, so yeah, everything's all come together. You know, I like to visit a big city again, maybe get a taste of hustle and bustle. Which means that she actually gives us a hint as the fact that the next destination we might actually go ahead and see her was actually in Yundong City, in this case Metro Kingdom, so that'll be after this kingdom. So yeah, it's been quite a few days, and that was actually a pretty bad start at the beginning. Whoops. Yeah, because of that little moving, rotating platform right there, so that's kind of my fault. So anyways though, it has been quite a few days since actually coming back to this game, because you know how the fact that recently Sonic and Pinkie Pie are now going to be doing buddy films of another Mario Party Let's Play at this point, ever since the very beginning of March, and that is of course Super Mario Party. So even then though, that you know, there's going to be too many of those Mario videos these days. And I'm sure enough that a lot of people seem to actually be very happy about the forms of there's now going to be so much Sonic stuff at the moment. Because of that though, that you know, Sonic is practically going to be concentrating on at the moment Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed before, you know, Team Sonic Racing gonna comes out. And especially noticeable with Shadow the Hedgehog, which even then though that he almost like... well, he's pretty much done the all of the Stage 4 levels, so naturally he's now going to be doing Stage 5 levels, which I'm sure enough he needs to take a break from that game for a while, before or after whenever he managed to able to accomplish every single aspect or the entire Let's Play of Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed first. So... and then once that he's been done with that Let's Play, then sure enough, he will get back into the forms of, you know, any forms of that, you know, Shadow the Hedgehog. So, anyways though, as far as the, Power Moons we might as well able to go after for, especially with the regional coins for this point, I don't think there's any that much in terms of, regional coins we need to be found around here. Especially noticeable, there's not much Power Moons we can get, other than... some occasional ones, like for instance, for example, by the forms of the Moon Rock that we can able to actually just to utilize, and especially noticeable with the forms of, well, I think that's what we can able to actually think about for this point. So, yeah, today was actually forms of, the 21st of March, in this case in 2019, so I believe that, the actual Nintendo 3DS system has almost been out for about... I would say for almost been out for 8 years, when it gets to Monday the 25th of March, so I can't believe that some of these aspects about every single days goes down really, really quickly. And especially noticeable how the fact that we've only got 8 more days to go until Yoshi's Crafted World for the Nintendo Switch will be releasing in that time. So, naturally speaking, until next week, now the fact that, well, at least even then for Monday and Tuesday possibly, and probably Wednesday as well, I don't know. Practically speaking, that Piglet needs to get back into Captain Toad Treasure Tracker because of the DLC stages is now being released, and especially noticeable definitely needs to get back into the forms of Yoshi's Woolly World before Yoshi's Crafted World was actually going to self-released on the actual Nintendo Switch. So, but even then though that, I don't exactly know whenever we're gonna do that particular Let's Play, because even then though that, well, obviously we haven't not done Warrior Lands the Shake Dimension yet, so because of that though, because, you know, there's gonna be, you know, a lot of emphasis on the forms of, like, some developing, well, forget what I just said. So anyways though, there are some quite exciting things that's worth mentioning though for this point, folks, thanks to the likes of how the fact that I believe Sonic didn't even mention about the forms of in yesterday's video of Shadow the Hedgehog, that in that particular Let's Play he's practically doing, that apparently he forgot about the forms of the ND Showcase, specifically in yesterday. Because of that though, there's quite a few surprising announcements here and there. Like, I believe there's only 2 announcements I was interested in so far. And, well, except the rest though, because it's not my kind of thing. But either way, these 2 are, by the forms of how the fact that finally, Cuphead is now finally going to be announced on the Nintendo Switch. Which I'm very happy for, because I haven't really get a chance to able to try that out on, during back in 2017, because I didn't even bother to get the Xbox One back then. But now it's finally come to able to actually now have Cuphead on the Nintendo Switch, and to make things a little bit more interesting is that I can play it on the go. So even then though, I can now finally play it. I definitely might as well get it on the forms of, I don't know if it's going to be download exclusive, just like the ones in the Xbox One version, or especially noticeable with the forms of, like, if they have, like, both digital download version or the physical version, which even then, again, we'll might as well find out during that time. And in addition with that, it also includes the release date for Cuphead for the Nintendo Switch, and I believe it's going to come out during until next month. So even then though, that hopefully it should be a lot more exciting for this point, and I'm really looking forward to that particular title, especially because of how the fact that, well, I've heard so many great things about it, like the overall presentation of the game, and son of a biscuit! Oh, jeez. I hate when some jumps like that, because it's so hard sometimes whenever you're trying to, like, do some speedrun tactics here and there, especially because of how the fact that I was trying to able to actually just bypass certain parts of the level, but, it's just a shame that how the fact that I didn't time my jumps well enough, so even though that makes it a little bit obvious for this point, so, anyways though, let's try this again, and it looks like you... Okay, come on. Stop. Pausing. I was gonna hopefully try to select retry option, but because of how the fact that my reaction timing doesn't go that well, so... Well, let's try this again for a 4th time in a row, and hopefully we'll get this time. So, jeez, that could be a little bit more difficult than it looks, unlike the ones and how it does it from, you know, the previous courses that we've actually done, especially by the forms of the Wooded Kingdom, that we've actually done it very easily, especially in the forms of the Lake Kingdom. So naturally speaking, that's all I can really think about. So yeah, I'm very glad that Cuphead is now finally makes its you know, release on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if we can able to do that Let's Play of the game because of how the fact that, well, it might actually retain still once again one save file or something like that, but I might be able to be curious to able to try that game out, because I've heard so many good things about the game, like for instance the actual presentation of the game, more accurately though the actual visuals of the game, because it's almost made by the forms of almost like a somewhat of a similar style for how it does in the old Walt Disney cartoons, specifically in the black and white Disney cartoons back in during the likes of in 1928, or especially noticeable throughout the old age. So, but even then, I'm very curious to able to try that out, and especially noticeable how the fact that, well, I've heard that this is definitely one of the more tougher games you can able to play, because I've heard so many frustration-thrown error situations, especially I've watched some of the speedrunners of the game did manage to able to have themselves a little bit of a hard time trying to able to speed things up because of how the fact that, well, you know. And I'm really hoping they're actually going to be featuring the Switch Pro controller support, because if they do, then it'll make it so much more, you know, so much more accurate for that more than have you, or what have you. So, I've no idea why I said this twice. So anyways, let's go ahead and activate the Moon Rock, so not only do we able to get that cinematic again, but, as usual, we got more power moons to find. So, yeah, that's as far as I can say about this here. So, I'm pretty sure we've off by about, like, 6 of those regional points left, which, I know it's been a really long while since I actually gonna come back to this game because of, you know, recently Sonic and Pinkie Pie are now gonna be doing Super Mario Party as far as, not only for another, Mario Let's Play for the time in this particular year, but also by the forms of the new Mario Party Let's Play after, you know, about a year ago that, you know, Duffy and Pinkie Pie did manage to able to get done Mario Party the Top 100, which I found it a little bit of a, well, it's a pretty cool idea to able to add the rest of the minigames from the Mario Party's past. But unfortunately though, the actual replay content, especially because there was only one freaking board on the Top 100 game, that makes it a little bit disappointing, because I was expecting they're going to be bringing up the top 10 best boards in any console Mario Party game specifically, well, the numbered installments most likely, but even then though, it's kind of a shame that it does not have it on there, so... Oh well though, so... And another thing I want to explain about this actually is the fact that they actually did announce there's going to be a new trailer that's been shown up, specifically a brand new film that I was really looking forward to when it comes to, like, at this point in this June. That is of course Toy Story 4. And what do I think about it? I'm really hyped for it. See, even then though, because of that though, I'm not going to spoil anything for this point because it's just a brand new film that's ever going to be released at that time. And especially noticeable, I'll let you guys be able to see the trailer of it. And because I'm not going to point things out for the analysis for this point yet, because I'll let you guys see for yourself. So yeah, I'm very glad that I've now managed able to actually see the new trailer of Toy Story 4, and I'm still looking forward to it. And in fact, when that film is going to be close to release, by the forms of not only for the UK countries like we actually lived in right now, but also by the forms of how the fact that in a North American release date as well, that I'm actually going to be watching every single of those Toy Story films, mainly the Toy Story trilogy, before I watch the fourth one, so that it actually tells you about the fact that what the story actually begins or what have you. So yeah, that makes it clearly obvious for that point. So in fact, quite frankly though, is the fact that Toy Story 4 might actually go ahead and release on exactly the same day as Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled for the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One version specifically. So that'll be the double of the bill actually. So anyways though, and speaking of the PlayStation 4, it's kind of unfortunate that Cuphead still doesn't make its appearance on the PlayStation 4, which I think is pretty obvious because I could assume that both Nintendo and Microsoft and yeah, that was a little bit of an embarrassment death, as you can see there. So anyways though, because of how the fact that Microsoft and Nintendo are somewhat of a team-up aspect, or in this case, something's... it's hard to explain about this actually, of how that happened, but anyways though, but at least it could be nice to be able to actually add Cuphead on the PlayStation 4, to be able to add trophy support, but to be honest, I don't mind about it too much, because I can able to play it on the go, on the Nintendo Switch, so that way I can able to actually play from there. So, but again, I'm really looking forward to able to try that out for reals this time, because it's been about 2 years since when it first came out on the Xbox One version specifically, and I believe the PC version for that as well, but even then though, that, yeah, I do not know if I'm going to do that Let's Play of the game because of how the fact that, well, not to mention, because I've noticed that it might actually only contains one save file, but it's also because of how the fact that it might be really difficult until the later stages, which I've heard so many things about it, so, but, you know, you get the idea from that point. So, anyway, and, yeah, that's about it for Toy Story 4 trailer, the official trailer, I should say, and, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm not gonna tell you the story of the film because obviously the film wasn't going to release yet until, you know, the 21st of June. So even then, I'm still really looking forward to it. So, anyways, though, oh yeah, this is a big deal for this, you know, the power moon that you can see right there. We need to use that fire-spewing piranha plants to able to actually light those candles up until you're able to get yourselves your next power moon. So, you know, it's kind of like the same mission for how he does it on the... I wonder what mission that we did done. Oh yeah, that was on the Luncheon Kingdom, that we did that somewhat of a similar mission, but except that we need to use the actual stretchy wiggler enemies to capture for, and also to smash to take control of them. So that's clearly obvious there, and also another power moon right there. Stretch and traverse the jungle itself. So, another thing I want to explain about this, actually, is the fact that there's also another game that's been announced, not only for the PlayStation 4, but also for the Nintendo Switch as well. and that is of course the remastered version of Castle Crashers. And some people seem to think about the fact that, wow, I cannot believe that's gonna be, you know, come out for a multitude of platforms these days. Like, we've got the Xbox Live Arcade, and also we've got the PlayStation Network version, and now we have, well, we've already had the PC version, as well as the Steam version especially as well, and the Xbox One version especially for about not too while ago, but now we finally managed to get ourselves the PlayStation 4 release of Castle Crashers, especially noticeable with the glorious Nintendo Switch versions as well. Means it might actually give us a hint of these 4 colored Joy-Cons. I believe that's what represents what players you're selecting with. And yeah, I might be curious to try that game again, even though I did manage to play this game before with son of a... See, this is what I mean when it comes to the actual, like, Koopa free-running minigame sometimes, is that, you know, you have to be extremely cautious, especially because of how the fact that you really don't able to knock yourself from the entire purpose of the platforms themselves. So that's kind of a little bit of a troublesome at some form or another, but that I digress. So anyways, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a good start for this jump right here. So but again, the golden Koopa Trooper might be your worrisome right here. What's going on with that camera right there for a second ago? It just immediately just zoomed in by default of like somewhat of a wall or something like that, but I digress. But, yeah, Castle Crashers Remastered is coming to the PlayStation 4, and especially with the Nintendo Switch version. I don't know which version I might decide to get, but, well, obviously, I might actually go ahead and... I'm gonna be honest with you for this point, folks. I think I should probably go after... It's so hard to decide because of how the fact that, well, back in the day, whenever I first played this with Stuart, back in during the likes of in 2014, whenever he first got himself his PlayStation 3, and we did manage to play through Castle Crashers for quite a bit. And to be honest, I didn't really like it at first, just because of how the fact that, well, it's somewhat of a cool idea, but it's just the depth perception is always feels a little bit more too buffering for me, because sometimes I rarely did manage to able to hit the enemies, but most of the time the actual depth perception just keeps on like screwing me things over. So that might be the only solution I must confess for this point. But hey, on the plus side though, that we did manage to beat the game for once back in 2014. I cannot believe it's been about 5 years since I actually last touched the game. But again, I haven't really played that game for quite a long time, just because I wasn't really interested at first. But as time went on, especially noticeable, they've now managed to able to finally release it onto the latest generations of consoles, mainly by default to the Xbox One, and then as I mentioned earlier, the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch versions, that I'm actually might be a little bit interested, but not exactly entirely just yet. And as far as I'm aware, it's the fact that, oh, really? Well, looks like we have ourselves the returning Clubdo again, ever since at the very beginning of the Lost Kingdom, but now we need to able to do with this in a hard way, meaning about the fact that we need to rely on the lava. So, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So, yeah, once again, Cappy is gonna get kidnapped twice in a row. So, well, at least one time from before, but now this is actually the second time that he's been captured. So, and basically, just like before, we need to able to let Clubdo just manage to get himself smacked, because as you can see by the little ground pound mark right there. But the thing is, because it's been quite a few days since actually gonna be finally coming back into this game, I have no idea what I'm gonna do right here. But at least I know what I'm doing. Like, just simply you have to save Cappy from you know, the Clubdo enemy right there, or in this case the Clubdo bird. But yeah, it just makes it a little bit harder for you, because now you'll be completely capless, so that means you have to do this particular part in a hard way. So not only that, because I'm pretty sure there's actually going to be 2 power moons in this particular section too. So there's one in beyond in that cage over there, as you can see right there, and there's also another one that's going to be hidden behind a wall somewhere. But even then, whenever we free Cappy first, before we're able to actually do anything, because I would assume that we need to use the plotter boost to be able to actually go across the actual lava itself. So that makes it entirely makes it sense to me. So anyways though, so we can't get him from here. So, yeah, I think that's as far as I can go. But either way, yeah. And, well, it's a bit of a tough choice, as I said this before, and I just died right there, so, whoops. But that's okay though, because I can able to respawn on that specific section again, and right from the bat though, is the fact that Cappy is no longer with me from the start, so, but unless if we have to save him first before we do anything, so, I believe if I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that if you accidentally leave, this entire area without even, like, rescuing Cappy at all, you'll be entirely, you know, capless for the whole entire time, unless if you save him again, when you know, if you manage to able to save him from here, so... Alright, so what am I supposed to do? Well, I could able to just go ahead and, try to catch him from here, but, unless if I ground pound here, then once he comes back onto the exact same spot, then I should be able to actually free Cappy for the second time, so... Hopefully it should be makes it a little bit obvious there, so, but again, the only hardest part about this section for me sometimes is, of course, the actual lava, which either way, if you actually know what you're doing, then you would able to realize how dangerous the lava can be. So, there we go, and looks like he's gonna land onto that ground pounding mark right there, and get onto that side, and boom! There goes Clubdo right there. And from here, we can now able to actually get closer to Cappy right there, so now we can able to use him again, so, yeah. Stupid bird. Anyway, I'm fine, no problem, let's go already. So that way, we can now actually activate the cage so that we can open this up. And not only that, to able to actually get our next power-up right there, on a power moon, I should say. Chasing Clubdo, yep, that's what the missions actually represents. And we're not done with this here, because obviously there is one more power moon into this area. And that way we can able to drift along behind the wall, and that way we should get another power moon, but this time, extremely hot bath. Or hot bath, as far as you like to call it that for that pronunciation. I believe it's actually bath in the UK, and I believe in the American version it's somewhat of a bath, or something like that, depending on the forms of the pronunciation you might think. But either way though, that's as far as we can able to think about for the time. Alright, so we've only got ourselves one more power moon left in the Lost Kingdom, but we're still off by 6 regional coins left, so hopefully this should be down by the forms of today's video. So, can't believe we're actually breezing for this very, very quickly, kind of think about it. But anyways though, yeah, with our Castle Crashers remastered, as I mentioned to you before, I don't know what version I might as well get, even though that the Switch version does have the ability to that you can play it on the go. And the PlayStation 4 version, I would say it might actually support trophies as far as I'm aware, but it's kind of hard to decide which versions I might go for, at least one of the versions actually, so, but I would hope that it actually gets like a pretty good frame rate, like 60 frames per second, you know, just like the ones and how it does it in the, you know, in the HD Kingdom Hearts compilations, specifically the HD 1.5 plus 2.5 and 2.8, well, unless if you're able to play PlayStation 4 Pro for playing 0.2, the Fragmentary Passage. So, yeah, that's as far as I can see how this will go. Anyways, though, so the last power moon is the fact that we need to go ahead and... Oh, it's too late. Oh, that's just great. But that's okay, because we can simply just walk back in here if we keep on messing things up. But either way though, so this is the final power moon in the Lost Kingdom, and that way we need to purposely try to deal with the actual timer challenge. So even then, if that's to be the case, then things should be able to be done at this point. So because of that, yeah, I cannot believe we're actually almost there to the halfway point. We've collected the rest of the remainings of the power moon so far. So even then though, things can go down pretty quickly as far as I can consider that. So despite the fact that it might take me about a year. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. So, Lost Kingdom Timer Challenge. I think this is the only timer challenge in this kingdom specifically because, well, that's just about it. So, but again, this kingdom wasn't as big as it used to be, but either way though, it still looks very cool to this day. So anyways though, and that's it for the power moons. So now, before we leave the kingdom out of the way, specifically because we need to grab ourselves the last 6 of those regional coins that we can hopefully find it somewhere. But even then, it all depends if where we can able to find them somehow. So, but anyways, though. So, anyways, do we need him for specifically? I think we might should go for it. But again, I don't know exactly what the rest of the regional coins are going to be located, but even then, no, because, well, the problem with that is that I've already gathered some of them from the very start of the kingdom, but then whenever I try to revisiting the actual kingdom itself, and trying to figure out where the actual last few regional coins there are, sometimes it's very hard to see them sometimes, so let's see what's up there, other than you can just go from here, so... Okay, where is it? Actually, no matter what though, I think I should probably go ahead and use them again and, trying to see if there's actually another way, but I'm pretty sure we've already, done that already, if the fact that, well, oh yeah, these are the moon shards, so, yeah, because I already collected the other 4 from my first time playing for this, kingdom, so, jeez, seriously, where are they? Although, I believe, if I remember correctly, there might be some in the forms of the actual, like, the Poison River Fall, or the Waterfall, I should say, which, if I remember correctly, there is. So, there's another 3 right down there, so hopefully we'll grab those very carefully, and we're off by the last 3 more to go. So, once again, that we need to find the last 3 of those regional coins in here, so, yeah, jeez, it's a bit like how it does it on, the Lake Kingdom all over again, but except the fact that we need to, you know, find the rest of them, so and another thing I want to explain about this actually is the fact that they actually did announce that the actual Ultimate compilation, specifically known as Konami's 50th anniversary collection, is about to be on its way for not only for the Xbox One, but Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 versions as well. So these are the Arcade Classic collection and Contra collections. Oh, actually. Okay, quick error right there because I need to figure out where the last 3 regional coins there are. And I'm sure enough there might be that one specific section I was missing out on. So if we go into here and then trying to capture the stretchy wiggler, and there it is right there. Oh jeez, I was completely blind by it for a moment there. And there we go, we've actually gathered every single of those regional coins to be found here. So, actually I will mention more on that, Konami's 50th anniversary collection until the next video, because, well, honestly, because I'll be saving mentioning about that, or if Sonic and Pinkie Pie will mention more on those until whenever they get back into Super Mario Party specifically for this weekend. So, yeah, because of how the fact that, well, they pretty much seem to say that they've only got one more board to go on Mario Party mode before they move on to the next mode. So, things should be interesting to say much for that. So, now if I remember correctly about the fact that with the actual costumes you can get, I believe the last one you can able to get to is the fact that you can able to actually just get the silver suit or the metal suit or the metal costume. It's hard to say because even then it's been a really long while since actually coming back to this game. So but again, do apologize for that point. So anyways, let's purchase these, and also we're also able to also purchase this the football helmet, especially with that familiar 64 number on the actual football outfit or uniform, so that it actually represents Super Mario 64 number on here. And we probably might get some of the costumes for this point, but I'll save those in a later time, because for now, we'll go ahead and purchase the life up part in case if we need that for just the you know, just trying to add up to more health as much as we could. And things should be all settled for the most part, and that was about it. That was it for every single aspect of the Lost Kingdom. So naturally, we've actually got ourselves the final souvenir on the entire kingdom, and now let's go ahead and leave. Well, for any time soon, whenever we're able to move on to, well, after we finish up the main game, then we sure enough we can able to actually just go back in there again, for specifically for Luigi's case. So, anyways though, we've now reached up to 589 power moons so far, so we've almost there to 600 power moons, so yeah, we're getting quite close. But anyways though, that's it for that done, and looks like we've only got, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 more kingdoms to go, so even then though, that we're getting, you you know, quite close towards the end. Oh yeah, including 9 for the Mushroom Kingdom. So because of that though, we've only got 9 more kingdoms to go before we're completely done with everything in the entirety of Super Mario Odyssey. Even though we might actually not finish it in during time, because there are a few times though, for a couple of reasons, for current Let's Plays that we are still doing, that it still might take some time before we finish off this game, before we're able to actually decide to do a redo Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine until next year. So, because I just want to point things out right away. So, anyways though, before we end off this video, let's go ahead and change the outfit quickly into somewhat of a little bit more drastic or what have you. And that will have to be something a little bit more, like, fun or circusy themed, which is, obviously, the clown suit. Why? We'll mention more on that until the next video. So, yeah, I guess I'll end things off here, so join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. Is that we're about to be heading back to the forms of the Metro Kingdom to do some more Power Moon challenges, and eventually we might actually get ourselves the rest of the regional coins if possible. So, things should get a little bit more interesting from here. So yeah, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.